Okay, this is going to be a really quick video. So this is a custom list component that I built that's connected to my media connection. I posted a video on Twitter before when I had a bug which was resolving this pagination issue, but I got that resolved with some help in the forums. So you can see I can navigate through my images. I could jump to the last page. I could jump to the first page. I can click on an image and it takes me here to the default page. The one thing I still haven't resolved, and I'm not going to resolve, I'm just going to post all this code anyway and have at it, is why am I getting this up here when I do the create new? But I can hop in here, select the new file, not an image. Do I have a PNG? And open this up, some alt, save, go back to my media collection, and it should be here somewhere. Where did it go? Yeah, and so here's a new image. So that's what's here. And first, let's look at the code. It's pretty straightforward. I have a reference here to let's go straight to it, to basically the default list view. So this is another one of the questions that I want to answer. Someone asked me, like, how do I figure all this stuff out? And this is the answer. Read the source code. I do it a couple of ways. I use Cursor. So this is Cursor that I'm using. And B, I feed Cursor either a specific file or a specific repo. And I also feed Cursor all of the payload documentation. I feed Cursor anything from payload that I've written before. So I'm basically just creating my own kind of knowledge base, and that's how I figure stuff out. So for example, I might just open up this repo and search for a keyword or search for a component or search for a variable and just go through the code and figure stuff out. So if you look at this, you can see this is the default list view. What's different here is this is a client-based one. Mine is not. Mine's a server. But most of the same things can happen here. I'll add a link to this also in the repo. And as you can see, it's here in my source code. So here's my custom list view, but let's see how I get it in. So first I go to my media, a basic media collection. Here I have my component added. You have to add the path, not the component like you did in the past. And then I just dump them. I'm working on a larger project, which is trying to create a custom component for every place you can add a custom component. So there's basically a more fleshed out example of custom components. The documentation just gives you kind of like the template of one, but then you've got to figure out what the hell else you could possibly do inside and how the rest of it works. So what I want to do is just create some real world examples based off of their bare bones template. But here you go inside my media collection, inside this admin group, in components, views, list, and then here's my custom list view component. Here's my custom list view component. The only thing that matters to me really is the data, so I can get the data to render. For creating a new one, I just use the next link to take me to the new page. I'm 99% certain there's another way to do it, but this was straightforward. And like I said, I wanted to make this a server component. Regular styling here. I loop through the items. I wrap each one of the images. So let's go back here. I wrap each one of these images. So each one of these are wrapped with a link, which takes me to the page that I need to go to. So you can see I get the item ID, set the key. In theory, I could probably get the collection also off of the data that gets passed in. I just iterate through them. I style it to a grid, and then it just renders the image. I'm not using next image. I'm using regular image. And then the other thing that was a little bit tricky was the pagination, and because it's responding to a click event, and I wanted to use the pagination component from Payload, I had to create a client component for this. So if we go into our client component, you can see once again it's pretty straightforward. I've just taken the pagination client component from from Payload. I'm passing in all the information, and you can see it's all just coming from this useListQuery hook. Once again, which this was the part that had me stuck, but I got some help in the Discord channel on it. And that's it. it's really pretty straightforward once you kind of know, what to do and kind of what to look for. So I'm going to save you some time by A, making this video, and B, posting all my source code. Oh, one last thing, I wanted to point to where the hook came from. So inside of, where am I? I'm inside my documentation on React hooks. That's where I got the information on the hook from. So where is it? useListQuery. And then it's just kind of, you can look down and see all the information that you get back from this useListQuery object. And so I'm taking all the data to define all the page information. So you can see here, taking all the data to provide the page information, and then I'm using this handle page change function that they provide. And that's it. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you're building some cool stuff with Payload, and I will see you next time. Bye.